Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here's Alday.
What is going on with Jocasta Nu? Welcome back, Islanders. Today we're going to talk about Jocasta Nu. What is going on with Jocasta Nu? But we're not going to talk so much about the character as the broader implications for this character and how I feel I deal with it. And we're all going to talk about one or two problems maybe the game has at the moment, or certainly CG struggles with, but we'll get to that in time. So we're just coming to the end of Conquest, and I know you've all seen the videos about Jocasta Nu's kit, where it runs through all the different kit is about her and her transformations and her lightsaber gun, but let's go back to the start. So who is Jocasta Nu? So Jocasta Nu, well, librarian, keeper of the archives, holocrons, you know, that sort of person. So why are they bringing Jocasta Nu? Well, they say it's a lifter unit. They're being a little bit fast and loose here. You know, whether you can have a lifter unit for a character you don't yet have doesn't make a lot of sense. But I guess by doing that, they're almost sort of saying, right, the legendary that comes is going to be potentially just one character. There's not likely to be 2 or 3 marquees and then the legendary. Kind of implies to me that we're going to have a legendary and then you're going to have Jocasta Nu as the one that makes it a lot better. So I think by the way they phrased it, you're going to have like 3 basic Jedi that are probably already in the game. We'll talk about Jedi Vanguard in a second. They're probably already in the game. Then you're going to have whichever the new legendary is, and then you'll have Jocasta Nu. But that's not like CG. CG do like to give us lots of marquees. They do like to give us lots of new characters, so that's just speculation. But calling this as a lifter is a bit of a strange one. You can't lift something you don't yet have, can you? Surely she's just part of the team. Anyway, that's for another day. This is a strange one though, because I often feel that with capital games, there are characters that Disney wants them to launch, and then there's characters that they want to launch. And you can sometimes kind of detect, or I feel I can detect it, where you look at the Bad Batch at the moment, this very much feels like something that Disney's asked them to launch, or can you launch them, you know, put it on the list. But Jocasta Nu feels like something that CG have initiated. You know, it's kind of like, you can tell even in the Q&A, even down the end of the Q&A, there's a little subtle thing there where they refer to, you know, like what Magic the Gathering car would she be, what Star Citizen ship would she be. Subtle references that kind of show that they're maybe more engaged in Jocasta Nu. She certainly has an incredibly complicated kit. I mean, you look at the difference between, or the effort they've probably put into Jocasta Nu versus somebody like Wrecker, the new Wrecker or the new Hunter. It is completely a different level of ability, different level of engagement, shall we say. So I think there's a little bit of a strange one there, in that that level of difference kind of makes you wonder about where they're going to put the power of this team. And this is ultimately what this video is going to be about. Whether you should bother spending any crystals or any time even trying to get this character, and how I would approach it, because what they've basically done is they've sold us a promise. Well, actually no, they haven't sold us a promise. They've actually just said it's a lifter. We don't know what on earth we're going to get. We don't know who the legendary is, and we don't know what power level this team will be. So let's speculate a little bit. So who could the legendary be? Well, it could be just about anyone. It could be one of the Jedi, people like Kit Fisto. It could be a new version of that. It doesn't seem to have a tie-in to Ahsoka, so I don't think we're going to get another Tanu. It is possible it could be Eno Cardova and Cordova, even though they're not really sort of coexisting, or they didn't spend too, you know, they both librarians, both kindly, you know, it's possible it's that sort of thing, and they sort of bridge the gap, so they sort of match up two characters the same. So but we'll wait and see. But if it's Eno Cordova, then it would not make a lot of sense that we would have to be relicking the other currently named Jedi Vanguard. Now, Jedi Vanguard is the name they've given this new group, and they've sort of assigned it retrospectively to about 12 different Jedi. Things like Keller and Beck are in there, so there are some decent sort of more modern ones, Shaak Ti ones we use, but then there is an awful lot of the older ones. Ones that we just don't use, the ones that don't really have a use, and of course a lot of people might have bought that Jedi Lightspeed bundle that was out a while ago, so we probably already have these sort of sitting in relics, and we probably maybe use them for the raid, so people probably already have these relics. So I have to say that we'll probably therefore get at least 1 or 2 new marquees. It would make sense with the amount of marquees that CG's having to launch, or seemingly committed to launch in 2025. It's hard to think that they're going to just launch a legendary without at least trying to gate 1 or 2 of them behind a marquee. So I think we'll see at least 1 or 2 marquees, in which case, don't fall for the Jedi Vanguard tag. I think unless they update the kits of the ones that they've already named, or they announce Omicrons or brand new abilities, then it's hard to see that many of the ones they've named would ever be in a team modern like today. Let's talk about the level this team is, or what I believe the level to be. Well, they were asked in the Q&A, can you tell us what level this will be as a team? And they just didn't answer it. Now, they have got into trouble in the past when they answer things like that and they give people impressions, and then when the character comes out or the team's eventually put together, it turns out to be a lot different from what they said. So I can see why they might not want to straight up answer it, but let's face it, a lifter unit. Now, the one that they're talking about is, oh, well, we have lifters like Ben Solo, lifters like Commander Jocasta Nu. Those are lifting GLs though, and I think I have to say that if this team can't kill a GL team, then it probably doesn't have its place for me as a legendary in 2025. Yes, there are some legendaries that can counter GLs, but I think if you're launching a lifter and a legendary at the same time, I think they probably got to be able to kill at least 1 GL. And that brings us to the other problem, or one of the bigger problems here. We only have 4 dark side GLs, and in all intents and purposes, we would expect Jocasta Nu to be on a light side team. Now, normally light side would counter dark side, so, okay. It's hard to think that it'd be able to kill Lord Vader, given the history of Jocasta Nu or what eventually happened. And therefore you're looking at people like C. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to kill C Bane. Or certainly C. Jedi tend to struggle a little bit against C unless they've got really high damage. So what you're looking at, a Jabba counter? Another Jabba counter? Probably not. In all intents and purposes, SLKR? No, probably not with Rey. So I think what I'm saying there is there really isn't a GL that this team's going to be able to counter. And the team's going to be very, very easy to beat, probably with Third Sister and the Inquisitors, just given the fact that they're going to be Jedi or Jedi Vanguard. Whether that's something they're maybe doing, so maybe 1 or 2 of the Legendary actually won't be a Jedi, it'll be a Jedi Vanguard, and therefore a lot of the callouts in the Inquisitor kits might not work against them. But all of this speculation, what is all this about, or why am I talking so much? Well, the fact is it's all pure speculation. And this is the problem about a character like this, that CG keep doing this. They keep asking you to give your time, effort, and crystals chasing something without giving you any indication as to whether it's going to be good. So what would my advice be? Let's talk. We're going to go quickly around the houses here. My inner room initiates, don't touch. Do not touch this character, don't chase this character. I mean, they've given you no reason to believe that Jocasta Nu is going to be any better than what you're currently farming, so I would literally just skip it, just ignore it. Don't worry about it, wait until the final team is released, you can see what the final team is, And let's face it, you probably have other things or other priorities at the moment that are way more important. It's really unlikely. Lifters like Jocasta Nu don't tend to be requirements for anything. They don't tend to gate anything, so not having this character, not having this team is not going to affect you at all. So unless you're a massive Jocasta Nu fan, I wouldn't bother. Don't leave them. Mid-room Masters, well, it's FOMO in it. You know, if you miss out on this character, will you regret it? And it's that little bit in the back of your head that makes you think that this, well, what if this is like a star killer level team and I miss out on it? So you're going to be driven by FOMO. Just look after yourselves. Don't chase it too hard. Don't spend added crystals. Don't rush to do more of the conquest. I would say at this conquest, I'd say the Datacrons are probably more valuable, and therefore I would potentially go, I didn't bother getting the top crate, I got the second top crate in this conquest, and I've just been farming Datacrons, because I think the Datacrons are probably more important than getting this character inside the 3. Finally, my Outer Rim Legends. Well, you're probably going to get it anyway. It's a conquest character. That's one of the issues of conquest is the more developed your roster, the longer you play the game, then conquest gets easier and easier. So you're probably cooking away nicely. You probably already have enough to get her, and you'll probably unlock her in 3. Are you excited? Did you play against her in Sector 5 Final Boss? Did you... Final Boss Battle, sorry. She wasn't that impressive. She just stood there. So I think time will tell. Time will tell. If you've got any thoughts on this character, who do you think the legendary is? Stick it down below. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And until next time, let's talk about something else that's going on. Anyway, look after yourself. Enjoy your SWGOHs, and yeah, talk soon.